June update. So let's have a look to see what's going on here, Gemini. The energies around you at the moment are the card of the Magician and the Queen of Cups. So the Magician card is a card of manifestation. It's new beginnings. It's number 1. And this is about new beginnings in all areas of your life, Gemini. So maybe you've had to put an awful lot of focused intention into starting again. Okay, this can be in any area, but the Magician card's got an awful lot of determination to have a life that's meaningful to them. It can be in any direction, but it's definitely an energy of manifestation, of power, of personal will, focusing on the life that you really, really want to have. It's with the beautiful Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups can be a water sign in your life, or you could be involved in a lot of deep reflection. The queens in this deck are very, very passive, this Queen of Cups. So it's more about contemplating your emotional life rather than acting on it. And I'm looking at your relationship sector, and you do have the High Priestess. So very, very similar energy as a lot of reflection on what you want, maybe on the past, maybe on the future, but definitely very, very deep water. So deep water tends to speak of very, very soulful and quite spiritual bonds. But with these type of bonds, Gemini, generally come a lot of challenges and a lot of issues. So for some reason, a lot of your energy is going into reflection, basically, rather than reaching out and making contact. Now, what you most want is the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be a person, an earth sign person, and this is the energy of the person that you most want. Or it could be about feeling financially secure, feeling stable, feeling safe, feeling very sort of established in your own life, and feeling like you're a bit of a master of your destiny. So right under that Magician card, so maybe some of you have been working really hard to manifest a new financial beginning. That could be to do with housing, work, how you live on a daily basis. So that might be a message for some of you. For others, it's about an earth sign person. There doesn't seem to be much communication going on, but there's a lot of reflecting. And I've turned around, and the King of Wands and the King of Cups is both here. So maybe some of you have got this going on with a water person or a fire person, or there's a relationship, but it's a very, very strange connection here, Gemini, because it seems to be lacking, there's not much movement. It's all about reflection and an awful lot of passion with that King of Wands. Or this could be the different elements that the person represents. So I don't know where these cards came from, but when cards appear that haven't been picked, they've got a really, really significant meaning. So maybe loads of Geminis have got different relationships with these kings and these queens, but again, there's just not a lot of action. Because the King of Cups as well can represent very, very deep reflective feelings, but not doing anything. And you've got the King and the Queen of Cups in the same reading. So I think emotional bonds are really, really important to you, Gemini, but a lot is going on under the surface, which is a theme for an awful lot of people. Saturn retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, and Pluto retrograde. So a lot of change is happening underneath the surface, but you can't quite see it yet. I think that might be a message for someone. Anyhow, your supportive energy is the Seven of Wands. You've been asked to stand by what you believe in, stand up for yourself, stand up for your boundaries, stand up for what you value. But that Seven of Wands, it's got an energy of this far and no more. I'm going to clarify that card. I like the Seven of Wands. A lot of people don't. But it's definitely a card about, because the Judgment card just came up with it. The Judgment card is about hearing a call, wanting things to be different, having a decision that you'll never go back to the way that your life once was, but wanting that clean slate. There's a lot of awakening basically here, Gemini, and with that is going to come the need to put boundaries down, to put limit lines down. Maybe there's a lot of hard work going on, but there's an awful lot of new growth and new possibilities. So it's almost saying this non-communication is not a negative. That maybe you're changing a dynamic, and just because you can't see it does not mean to say it's not happening. Because for some of you, there might be quite a bit of anxiety going on at a deep level. So when this might be particularly around relationships, by the way. So when this is happening, because we can't see the changes, we automatically assume they're not happening. So fear and anxiety starts to manifest when we're trying to change a karmic pattern. So a karmic pattern is just one person does something and you respond in the same way, okay? So when we have to change patterns, it generally brings up a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety because you're going into new territory. Because at a soul level, you've got the Nine of Swords. I'm going to ask why you're feeling so anxious. But I think it might be because there's a lot going on underneath the surface, okay? I'll clarify it in a minute. Now your challenge is the Eight of Discs. The Eight of Discs is a craftsman's card. It's about working hard, focusing on your goals. It can also be a card about commitment. If this is a relationship issue, the eights are quite high up, okay? So it's about wanting to put your energy and your time into a bond. But for some reason, Gemini, this bond is happening underneath the surface, okay? Now, if it helps, Gemini, this is happening to so many people. And I'm a little bit of a loss to why, apart from all the retrograde motions. But this is how we change dynamics. We have to change dynamics sometimes by withdrawing our attention. Okay, so I don't know if that is a message for someone, because in your relationship house you have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is not revealing her secrets, but it tends to speak of a very deep, very spiritual bond. I adore the High Priestess in a love reading, but it speaks of more an emotional connection, but maybe not seeing the person, being separate, but the connection is real and it's there. But a lot of your energy is going into working hard. The Eight of Discs is a card about achievement, goal setting, and for some of you, you might be turning your back on the relationship issue to build a bit more financial security because you want to be the Queen of Pentacles, or because there's a part of you that's had enough with that Judgment card and you want something better, or you want something else in your relationship dynamic. So you're turning your back and putting your focus onto Pentacles. Now in your money and work, you've got the beautiful Page of Cups. This could be in your relationship interest. If I'm not wrong, that turned up in your general reading for the whole of June. It can be a new love interest, or it can just be a new creative project, because the Nine of Cups has appeared with it. These are both very good emotional cards, and they're emotional and financial life are very, very interlinked. So there's a lot of really good feelings around your money and work. There could be a new love interest because the Lovers is there. Or if not, you're at crossroads. There's new choices and new potentials that are going to lead to your happiness with that Nine of Cups. But with great change comes great fear. And I think that's why you've got the Nine of Swords going on at soul level. I'm going to... Because the Nine of Swords is a card of worry and anxiety, okay? And I don't like seeing that for you there, Gemini, okay? Not that the Nine of Swords is a bad card, because we all need it in order to propel new action. It's what propels us forward. It is with the Justice card. So if you're fearing something, the message of the Justice card is don't worry. If you've got a legal matter, it looks like it's going to be resolved in your favour because it came up in the upright. If you're waiting for something, it tends to speak about that thing manifesting because the Ten of Discs is also there. Now your outcome is the Knight of Pentacles, okay? This guy is driving an awful lot of people crazy because he's appearing for everyone. I adore the Knight of Pentacles, but it's the earth element. So it's slow, steady change towards your goals. Sometimes the Knight of Pentacles moves so slow that it's a stalling energy, because this horse is not actually moving, but it's got all these green pastures around it and the colour is yellow. So it's all the colour of new life and new growth, but it's moving in a very slow, steady way. So I just asked what this knight was moving towards, and he's moving towards the Wheel of Fortune, which is things turning around. It's destiny, it's fate, okay? So I'm going to have to try and put, you've got quite a complicated reading. First of all, a lot of energy of new beginnings, okay? Around your relationships, I think there's a lot of deep reflection, but not a lot of action. And I think there's no action because there's a pattern that needs to be changed. I think maybe there's been relationship dynamics that have overstepped boundaries, and you want that Judgment card, you want a new beginning, you want reconciliation, but you're being asked to almost be cautious, not cautious, but you're not going to rush into anything, Gemini, okay? Now, these three people appeared, which might mean there's different people that you most want. But again, they're all very reflective energies because they're all sitting in this deck. So they're not going out and pushing for things to happen, which might be what leads to you feeling anxious. A lot of the trick, Gemini, is going to put your energy into the Eight of Discs, okay, which is a card of craftsmanship, working hard, trying to get those pentacles, trying to get a lot of achievement done, because there's a lot of lovely energy around money and work, and it's not a new relationship, it's new creative projects, and you might have to make choices about the way forward, but it's leading to the Nine of Cups, so it's leading to a lot of emotional happiness. Whatever is causing this fear at a soul level is going to be resolved with the Justice card and the Ten of Discs. So any legal matters are going to be resolved into your favour, or you're waiting for something to move, to manifest. Both these cards are manifestation cards. The Knight of Pentacles is a slow progressive movement towards your goals, and it's moving to the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Discs, which is a card, to me,